Welcome back to Awakening the Inner Avatar. Today, we meet someone powerful, grounded, and unlike anyone Aang has ever known. This is the story of Toph, the blind bandit, the earth-bending prodigy who teaches us that strength isn't about what you see, but about what you feel. This episode explores what it means to stand firm, to trust our senses beyond sight, and to find confidence in the truth of who we are, even when the world underestimates us. We begin in a bustling Earth Kingdom market. Sokka argues with himself about whether to buy a trinket too expensive, but so tempting. Among the crowd, a man hands out flyers for an earthbending academy. Aang's eyes light up. Maybe this is where he'll find his teacher. But the academy's lessons are dull and rigid. Aang feels no connection to the teacher or the students. He overhears two students whispering about something called Earth Rumble 6, an underground earthbending tournament. When they refuse to share details, Katara smiles. A girl has her ways. That night, they sneak into the arena. Earth Rumble 6 is like wrestling meets earthbending. Loud, dramatic, a little ridiculous. The boulder, a muscular fighter, dominates the matches. But Aang remembers Bumi's wisdom. You need someone who listens to the earth. The boulder, for all his strength, doesn't listen. Then the crowd roars for the final challenger, the blind bandit. A small, barefoot girl steps into the ring, confident, smirking, still. Aang's heart stops. She's the girl from his vision in the swamp. The boulder attacks. The blind bandit doesn't flinch. She listens through her feet, feeling every vibration, every shift in the ground. She waits. She strikes. The boulder flies out of the ring. The crowd erupts. The host calls for challengers. Aang steps forward. He doesn't want to fight. He wants to talk. But the blind bandit, fierce and proud, is ready for battle. Aang airbends lightly and accidentally knocks her from the ring. She's furious. Later, Aang visits the Earthbending Academy, asking if anyone knows where she lives. The students claim she's a mystery. Then Aang remembers the flying boar symbol on her clothes. One boy recognizes it, the crest of the Beifong family, the richest family in the kingdom. The trio sneaks into the Beifong estate, where the blind bandit appears again, already waiting for them. She calls Aang Twinkle Toes. Aang explains that Bhumi told him to find someone who listens, and that the swamp showed him her face, meaning she's meant to be his teacher. But she refuses. Her parents wouldn't understand, and she's not allowed to do anything without permission. She warns them to leave or face her guards. Her name is Toph. Toph's father treats her as fragile porcelain. He believes she's helpless, blind, and weak. Her personal trainer, Master Yu, assures him that Toph is only learning basic forms and breathing exercises. But Toph's secret life is the opposite. She's the champion of Earth Rumble 6, the greatest earthbender in the city. When Aang visits for dinner, Toph's parents welcome him with honor, oblivious to the truth. During dinner, Aang hints that Toph could teach him. She uses earthbending under the table to silence him. That night, she meets Aang secretly. They agree to start over. Toph explains, "Even though I was born blind, I've never had a problem seeing. I see with earthbending. It's kind of like seeing with my feet." She feels every vibration, every heartbeat, every shift in the world around her. Her parents don't understand, so she hides who she truly is. Aang listens and invites her to come with them. Before she can answer, the ground shakes. Fighters from the Earth Rumble tournament ambush them, believing Aang and Toph cheated. Sometime after, Sokka, Katara, Master Yu, and Toph's parents find the ransom note. They rush to the arena. The fighters plan to keep Aang and turn him over to the Fire Nation. When they free Toph, her parents still think she's helpless. But as Aang's cage rattles, Toph steps forward, calm and grounded. The earth trembles. She lifts boulders, shatters the ring, and defeats every fighter in the arena. Even her teacher is stunned. Toph is unstoppable. When the dust settles, her father reacts not with pride, but with fear. He declares she'll be guarded day and night from now on. The Avatar and his friends are no longer welcomed. But later, as Aang prepares to leave, Toph appears, smiling. She says her father changed his mind and gave her permission to travel. He didn't, of course. She climbs onto Appa's back, the wind in her hair, free for the first time. Her father, believing she's been kidnapped, hires Master Yu and the tournament host to bring her home. The journey begins. Let's take a breath. This episode is about how we see and how we feel the world beneath us. Toph's power comes from deep listening, not with her ears, but with her whole being. Now ask yourself, where in my life am I being called to listen deeper? Not just hear, but truly feel. Now repeat to yourself, I ground myself in stillness and listen to the truth beneath the surface. Toph's parents saw her as fragile, but her strength came from within. Now ask yourself, what part of me has been underestimated by others or even by myself? Now repeat to yourself, my strength is not defined by how others see me, but by how I stand in my truth. Toph had to claim her own freedom. Sometimes growth means stepping beyond comfort to trust your path. Now ask yourself, where in my life am I being invited to trust my power and step into freedom? Now repeat to yourself, I trust the ground beneath me and the strength within me. Toph shows us that seeing doesn't always come through the eyes. Sometimes it's about feeling, trusting, and standing steady in who you are. Her strength reminds us that true vision comes from connection to the earth, to ourselves, and to what we know deep inside. So today, take a moment to stand still. Feel your own roots and remember, real strength doesn't shout. It listens. Until next time, walk grounded, listen deeply, and trust what you feel. This is Awakening the Inner Avatar. This podcast is a fan-created project intended for educational and spiritual reflection. All clips, references, and content related to Avatar, The Last Airbender, Star Wars, Rebels, and other media are used under fair use for commentary, analysis, and transformative discussion. All rights to original shows, characters, and music belong to their respective creators and copyright holders.